You know, the next time you're at a pharmacy, take a peek behind the counter. You might not actually see them, but there's a really good chance that there are robots at work, managing millions and millions of pills with just incredible precision. Today, we're diving into the world of pharmacy automation.
So here's our plan. First, we're going to unpack the huge challenges that pharmacies are facing right now. Then, we'll see how these robotic solutions are stepping in. We'll even zoom in on one of the companies pioneering this tech, break down the massive advantages, and finally, take a look at what the future of your pharmacy is going to look like.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. Why is this technology even a thing? What's the problem it's trying to solve? Well, it all comes down to what we're calling the modern medication challenge.
Seriously, have you ever stopped to think about it? The sheer scale of it is just massive, and the stakes? They couldn't be higher. It's like this daily, high-stakes, logistical puzzle where there's absolutely zero room for error.
I mean, think about it. Medical treatments are getting way more complex, which means a lot of us are juggling multiple prescriptions at once. For a pharmacist, that makes every single day a kind of high-wire act. They're trying to balance this immense operational pressure with the constant, nagging risk of simple human error. And at the end of the day, it's all about patient safety. But you can see how the system is really starting to strain.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem pretty clearly. Now let's talk about the solution. This is where technology really steps up to the plate and transforms the entire process.
And the core idea here is something called compliance packaging. It sounds technical, but it's pretty simple. So instead of trying to manage a bunch of different pill bottles, just imagine getting a simple roll of little packets. Each one is clearly labeled with the date and time, and it has exactly the pills you need right inside. For us, the patient, it's a small change. But for safety and for making sure people actually take their medicine correctly, it's a huge leap forward.
So, how does this magic actually happen? It's a pretty seamless flow, really. First, a prescription comes in digitally. Then, robotic arms pick and drop the exact pills needed. Those pills get sealed into perfectly labeled pouches. And this is the most critical step, a high-resolution camera scans every single package to make sure its contents are 100% accurate before it goes anywhere.
And when you put the old way and the new way side by side, wow, the difference is stark. The manual process relies on human eyes and hands, which, let's be honest, can make mistakes when they're under pressure. But the automated process, it uses precision robotics and camera verification, which has been proven to just slash error rates and add this incredibly important layer of safety.
Okay, to make all of this a little less abstract, let's look at a real-world example. We're going to profile a company called Noritsu, which is a big leader in building these advanced automation systems.
And a company like Noritsu didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Their story actually goes back over 60 years, and not in pharmacy, but in precision imaging and manufacturing. So they have this deep, deep history of making really precise, really reliable technology, and that's the expertise they brought into the pharmacy world back in 2013. Now they're ISO 9001 certified, which, if you know certifications, is a serious seal of quality. And their mission statement really gets right to the heart of it all. This isn't just about building faster robots for the sake of it. It's about using technology to improve accuracy, to boost efficiency, and most importantly, to make things safer for patients.
So what do they actually make? Well, they build the core packaging machines, systems for blister cards, and those super important camera verification systems we talked about. But the real key is the software that connects it all. Everything is run by a central program called NexusRx, which basically acts as the brain for the entire operation.
So, that's the technology, but what about the results? Let's dig into the real-world advantages that pharmacies see when they bring these robots on board.
Let's just start with one big number. In some studies, pharmacies that use this kind of automation have seen their labor hours cut by over 50%.
But listen, this is really important. This isn't about replacing people. It's about freeing up highly skilled pharmacists and technicians from that tedious, repetitive work of counting pills by hand. It lets them focus on what truly matters, consulting with patients and providing real clinical care.
And you know, the benefits create this amazing chain reaction. You get more efficiency, which leads to cost savings, sure, but it also means fewer errors, which makes everything safer. And when medication is just easier for people to manage, they're more likely to take it correctly, which leads to better health outcomes for everyone. It all connects.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but this kind of high-tech stuff has to be only for those giant industrial-scale pharmacies, right? Well, that's actually one of the biggest misconceptions out there. Today's systems are way more accessible.
Take Noritsu's LittleBots family, for example. These are not giant factory floor machines. They're compact, modular systems designed specifically for smaller pharmacies. What that means is your local independent pharmacy can start with just one unit and then add more as they grow. It really puts this powerful technology within everyone's reach.
So with this tech becoming more and more accessible, what does the future actually hold? Let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture for the whole industry.
The trends pushing this forward are pretty clear. As medications get more complex, you see a huge opportunity in areas like long-term care facilities and home healthcare, all of which will be powered by better digital health tools. At the same time, that constant pressure to get errors down to zero in hospitals and big pharmacies, that's going to push the technology to use advanced data analytics to actually predict and prevent problems before they even happen.
The main takeaway here is that automation isn't some luxury anymore. It's quickly becoming a fundamental, essential piece of any safe, efficient, and modern healthcare system. Okay, so we've looked at the problem, the solution, the tech, and the future. What's the one crucial thing you should walk away with from all this? It's this: the robots behind the counter are making your pharmacy experience fundamentally better. The whole process is getting safer, it's getting more accurate, and it's becoming incredibly efficient. And all of that ultimately means better care for you.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. The next time you go to pick up a prescription, there's a very good chance a robot had a hand or a robotic arm in getting it ready for you. And that's a good thing. It means your medicine is safer, more accurate, and part of a much smarter future for healthcare.